Let's get back to my question. Do you remember it?
More specifically, true or false or what?
No, I ask a different question.
Why did he attack?
This is the first question, and the second question?
The second question was specifically...
About Muslims.
Yes, is it possible to kill Muslims or not?
Yes.
Yes, I said no. But there is such a concept of war against the
Speak
infidels. Such a concept as war against the infidels.
Give a definition of infidels.
The infidels are those who have strayed from their so-called path. Either they went against their own people or, well,
That's not what Quran says.
well, specifically those who have lost their
Yes,
way.
what else is written there? How should Muslims decide among themselves?
First of all, without wars, peacefully.
I'll ask you differently in Russian.
Yes, sure.
You speak Russian, right?
Sure.
You have a higher education. Why did you kill our Muslims and destroy the mosque where you went and gave your soul? Lying on the bed in uniform with a rifle. You decided to convert to Islam with a machine gun in your hands, didn't you? I'm speaking figuratively, he was standing
Well,
near me.
yes.
It's clear that you didn't hug it there. Although with the desire to obtain a certificate of a combat participant, I don't rule out the possibility that you slept hugging a rifle. Because when a person is from the 7th, from what grade?
From the 7th,
Study
yes.
at military formation from the 7th grade 24/7. Maybe you were that guy who was trained so much. Yes, you trained so much extent. Those are your words. I don't confuse or manipulate.
Well, we didn't have any rifle on duty.
Were you an officer?
Yes.
Did you have a pistol?
No.
What kind of gypsy service did you have?
Well, at the checkpoint it's like this. If we're on duty in the town, then yes, with a pistol.
Well, in short, this is figurative
Well, yes, I
bullshit
understand.
because I know how many minutes could you get a weapon. In about 20 seconds, in a minute. Get to some place where all this... Therefore, when a person say that he deliberately and consciously while in military uniform, although Islam is more like a religion of love, right? Because if you start comparing Islam and Orthodoxy, there are a couple of fundamental positions. Dude in uniform,
Yes.
lying in a bed thinking. Well, within a radius of 50 meters, he has it anyway, a lot of weapons, a lot of ammunition because he's on duty, because they might attack. Decides to go and become a Muslim. This concept doesn't suit me at all in principle. I consciously thought before this, and lying on the bed on duty with a rifle in his hands, he decided that I'll go and accept Islam. That's why I'm asked, like, what the reason, because that doesn't happen. You can't accept faith while being an atheist sitting in a trench, because you need to believe in something, but already being by someone, to go to another, while already being armed. Here, well, I don't know what it's called. I don't understand. Maybe I'm talking about the wrong thing. Maybe I'm leading the conversation in wrong direction. But if we continue in the classical version, we can hear, when was the first time you got injured?
June 10, 2022.
June 10, 2022. In which direction?
Kharkiv.
What were you doing there?
In what way?
In the months of June.
So, what?
Retreated.
No, I didn't end up on the retreat.
You wasn't there. Have you been injured before?
Yes.
So, it wasn't in the trenches, you were driving somewhere.
No, I received it when I came back from a mission. I was near a trench. I wanted to change my shoes and the shelling started. I was just jumping into a trench, then a piece of shrapnel flew in.
Okay, it's nonsense in short. With the light wood, he was evacuated and then taken to Moscow, probably. Right?
No, to Belgrade.
Belgrade. Well, that's all clear. Second time.
Already in the direction of Donetsk, Novomikhailivka.
Donetsk region, Novomikhailivka. How did you get it there? Assault, perhaps.
I'm not a stormtrooper. We didn't have an assault. We had a specific task to advance to the point.
What unit did you belong to? Please name it.
Reconnaissance company.
Ah, so you're a spy, a real Muslim.
And so basically,
Where did you go? How many people?
8 people.
You lead 8 people. 7.
I was 8.
There were 7 people, yes.
4 behind, 4, and my 4 was in front. I was in the first 2. That was all at night. We came simply to set up observation posts and observe, and accordingly when leaving the trench an automatic grenade launcher went off and we were wounded.
The deceased, were there any wounded?
The deceased and 2 wounded. 1 died, 2 were wounded.
Badly, it was necessary that everyone died. But you are an occupier.
Well, it works.
No, let's not do it like that. You didn't answer the question, are you occupiers or not?
Okay, now I'll tell you the full answer as I think.
Yes, yes.
Initially, everything was built in such a way that we were going specifically to the territory of Ukraine under the guise and under the pretext that we are not like occupiers, but like liberators' territory. That's what they told us.
What were you going to defend?
LPR, DPR.
LPR, DPR. Tell me, my dear friend, this is not serious. Is Kharkov is LPR or the DPR?
No, not LPR, not DPR.
What's wrong with this, please?
What I'm saying is that initially there was such a pretext and few people even understood what was going on.
A delusional answer.
But now I listened specifically to what you were saying and it turns out that, yes, we are occupiers.
No, look. How are you different from everyone else from your occupying herd?
Nothing.
No, you're like an officer.
Well, yes.
You have a star. You know how to think. Moreover, you spent 4 years studying the history of various wars. We will talk about history about wars. Could you approach the commander and ask him a question? Listen, battalion commander, or whoever you have there, the company commander. Tell me how is it that we are in Kharkiv regions and there are still 500 kilometers to LPR and DPR?
Yes, I could.
Did you go to him?
Look, I approached, let's say, the company commander.
No, I don't want to consider any theory.
Let's see.
No, why?
Because it's pointless.
No. You haven't tried yet. Have you already given your opinion?
Yes, I knew what would happen.
What will happen?
There won't be any answer. He'll just say that there's no need to get involved and the next day they'll send you somewhere. Okay, fine, they won't send me away, but the police will pick me up and take me ahead and that's it.
And what?
Well, I'll sit for a day somewhere in a cage.
And what?
Then they will release you and send you forward, but this time they will put you in an
Are you
infantry
refusing
unit.
to?
They let you. Well, at that time also, yes. Then they could have simply fired you, and that was it.
And the Quran, Bible, officer, higher education.
Yes, but still, I never did.
So when you went there in the Kharkiv region, you were deceived. Your commanders.
Well, they just didn't tell me where in
Well,
advance.
I like these streamlined
right.
phrases. Well, you were deceived. We can call it by our own words. You were simply deceived like a fool, and you pretended to be innocent and helpless. You know what you screwed up, dude? In principle.
The fact that I came to...
No, that's clear. In what? Idiocy. You entered Ukraine 3 times.
Yes.
Or were you on vacation? You weren't on vacation. You were there because of injury. You were wounded twice.
Yes.
Your wife is living a great life now. Yes, she has money and does nothing. Let's call it what it is. You're a kid who bought himself the Subaru he had always dreamed of because it's a guy's car, right?
Yes, yes.
No, well or not, well, let's
Well,
argue.
I wouldn't say that Subaru is some kind of cool car.
I have never driven a Subaru. I don't like them. I just don't care. Well, I know in some circles it's considered a cool car.
No, it's a family crossover.
Family crossover. Doesn't matter. There are 50 other options in family crossovers. You got 3 million for the first time.
Yes.
Allah gave you a sign. Not your war, man. Here you go. Light shrapnel. In the shoulder, right?
In the forearm.
It was the first time. In the forearm. Don't go back. You went back. You didn't quit, you didn't get discharged, you got the money and then you went to work, rested, and then when the soldiers run out and you're the one who has already been there, the one who has seen it all, the shelling and so on. Have you been on Izum yet?
Yes.
Yes. How do you like Izum?
I didn't see much of him because I was mostly...
You drove through it and saw the entrance, the exit, the bombed out houses. So,
Yes, of course, I saw it.
what Allah say about killing civilians?
Not approved. Peaceful people must not be touched. I really understand it. I saw it and still...
And you still went a second time?
Yes.
Because they gave you 3 million, there was a vacation. You said it yourself, you spent money left and right and didn't really count it. Well, you lived great compared to others. Well, I understand that. Well, I think you were the first one who said a year and talked about how he enjoyed himself after being wounded. No, not the first. This is the second time your Allah says to you, dude, what's your last name?
Biznogov.
Where is your wound?
Leg.
The leg, as far as I understand, is in place. Both were
Yes.
shrapnel wounds. Did they operate on them and get them out? Or have you had enough of everything?
No, not all.
This is normal. This is his memento. Allah tells you this is your last Chinese warning. You studied Chinese, didn't you? When did your wife quit her job?
In the fall of 23.
In 23rd year, in the fall, after you were wounded.
Not in 23, but in 22. In the fall.
Well, everything fits together. The picture is clear. And she didn't work anymore.
Yes.
Where does she get the money?
I gave.
That's right. Why work if your husband has gone? And when did you get married?
In 2021, in August.
Before the war. Fine. She doesn't need to work.
The situation there was unpleasant, so she quit.
What an unpleasant situation.
Family. She got pregnant. Accordingly, we were supposed to have a child. And a miscarriage happened. She was undergoing treatment because it had a serious impact on her health. Let's say, if she's in a cold for a long time, complications in woman's health begin.
Speak louder.
And there were complications accordingly.
It just turns out that I'm kind of shouting and you're even
She was
whispering.
undergoing treatment and it took her a very long time
There
to
are
be
many
treated.
other works. Basically, what is the average salary in Sakhalin?
50, probably 60,000.
Yes. Yes, you got it once. How much did you get in your unit?
Arrived, received 62.
After being wounded?
After being wounded, received about 100.
Because they already calculated with allowances.
Yes.
For wounds, combat, veteran, all that nonsense, right? Essentially, he goes to a simple job from 9 to 6 once a week for a row. Yes, no? I guess it doesn't matter. He receives 100,000 and at the same time receives another 3 million. You didn't have an apartment. Or did you?
No, there wasn't.
How much does a house cost on Sakhalin? 4 million?
No, it's more expensive. You can buy a new 2-bedroom apartment for about
Well,
6
if
million.
it's a good 2-room apartment.
Well, normal, usually a standard 2-room apartment for 6 million. Furnish it and accordingly arrange it
In
to...
a new house, right?
At 10, yes, just right.
We need a third wound.
It doesn't necessarily mean you'll get injured. You can just earn some
You
money.
won't be able to do that anymore.
Well, yes.
Why?
Because I don't want somehow... What should I keep in mind? Won't make any money.
It won't be possible to make money.
Why?
What do you think?
I don't know.
In short, we have a cool topic. When our law enforcement agencies are different. They're the SBU, all sorts of people, police. They watch our interviews and initiate criminal cases based on interview materials. Based on the materials of this interview, I think 100% will be initiated. Do you know why?
I don't fully understand.
Why are you of interest of our law enforcement agencies?
Because I was in 2 directions. I am a career officer.
The fact that you're a career officer is simply the least of my interest. It's really a trifle. You witnessed the occupation and everything that happened in the Kharkiv region at the beginning of the war. Because there are only a few people like you who were running there at the beginning of the war. You will be... Well, yes, criminal cases will be open against you. And they will give you from 12 to 15 years. How old are you now?
24.
24. How much will it be?
36, 38, 39.
Well, that's fine. But you won't be released early. You understand, right?
Certainly.
Because most likely, what unit were you in at that time?
At the beginning was also scout.
Well, no name all these letters and numbers. Battalion, brigade.
I was the commander of a separate reconnaissance platoon.
In the composition?
Brigades.
Which?
39s.
39th Brigade. What was they doing in the Kharkiv region? Everyone knows what she did in the Kharkiv region.
Occupied.
That's why. Occupied. Killed civilians. Took away cars. This is something that even you don't have to argue with. They looted, walked around, searched houses, raped, and stuffed people into basements. There were Russian National Guard soldiers captured here, remember? These are the ones. Has your mood changed?
No, I was thinking.
About what?
Well, you just say all this. In any case, there are a lot of
Well,
thoughts.
let's think about it. I can answer your questions.
No, I have no questions.
Why? On the contrary, you must have a lot of questions.
No, there are no questions at all. It's all perfectly clear. It's just...
Okay, let me ask you differently. What's wrong with that I said? Considering that you haven't watched us before, you... Or did you see our
No, I
interview?
haven't seen it.
Because you don't care, you just worked for money. You went to war for money. I'm not even talking about the salary you received. How much? 220 probably, officer.
A regular salary.
At the SMP, when?
Well, yes.
How many?
300.
300.
350 in total.
Millionaire, rich guy, around... You made 10 millions from this whole situation. Well, about 8, okay. The card is simply bursting with money. Am I right? Compare it to the usual classic Sakhalin. How long does it take him to earn this money? Which you already have.
Don't know.
Imagine there's a calculator in your head. We're counting.
How much time or money does he need?
How long will it take him to earn the 8 million you already earned in the war?
How much do you need?
Years.
Well, if the average salary is 50,000, let's take it, right?
Yes.
About 2.5 years.
No. Because you have to subtract expenses from 50,000.
Yes.
When
if
you
so,
were at
then
war.
Somehow even approximately.
Because you're at war. Huh?
I say if so, imagine even with expenses, if I just take the salary of 50 and however much is needed.
That's not 2.5 years. Because if 50, you say 2.5 years. 2.5 years, how many months is that? Bo.
It's 34, somewhere around 30 months.
So, somewhere around 30 months. 32.
Yes.
Or 30.
30.
Agree. 30 times 50,000 is what?
1.5.
Agree. We're talking about 8 million. 8 million divided by 1.5 million.
It will be 1.5 years. 8 million is exactly for some reason it's 800,000.
Yes, well, you really are disgracing the Russian army, which already has no bottom.
Earn 1.5 in 30 months. Yes, it is 2, 4, somewhere 5. Yes, so again it will be necessary to have 30 by 5. This is requires 150 months of
150
work.
months.
Yes.
This is if he simply gives all his 50,000. Well, not 150, but more. Well, that would be
Well,
too
on
difficult.
average, yes.
160. This is if he takes this 50,000 and simply invests in a nightstand.
Yep.
Well, what else does he want from them?
Work. Leave.
Leave. He works for 50,000 and takes away their utilities and rent. How much do you have?
I mean, it is average 8,000.
8 rent. How much is the rent?
No, rent is 45.
Are you rented something fashionable?
Well, the average price on Sakhalin is 40,000.
So a guy with an average salary essentially owes his entire salary.
You can find an apartment for 30,000, but it also depends on the area. Well, let's say I could rent it for 30,000, but I would have to drive across the entire city.
Got it. So we're talking about a guy in a rented apartment not saving, and it is simply impossible for him to ever earn 8 million, because beside the apartment he needs to invest something else in himself, in some kind of food.
But at least you can rent a room.
Rent a room. That is, you understand that your country gave money, which in ordinary life an ordinary peasant would never receive. And you fought only for money. Well, it's kind of understandable when the guy was wounded twice. By the way, what did your wife tell you?
The first time I came back, I said that I didn't need to go anymore at all.
And the second time?
She cried every day.
No, the first time, then when you was driving, what did she say?
She said the same thing, that there is no need to go. She just understood that if I refused, they would simply write me off and that's it.
And the third time?
The same thing happened.
And what did Allah tell you?
That you didn't need to go there. Saved me a lot of times.
In essence, I figured everything out for myself, so to speak. There was one more thing there. I see you've changed since you found out about the 15 years. It won't be 15, it will most likely be 11, that's the classic.
Well, of course, this is an unpleasant factor.
It's okay, you'll survive. You will be alive. This is a fact. Will she wait?
Of course she will. I don't doubt
Why
it
are
at
you
all.
so sure?
I'm confident because if I were not confident, I would not have gotten married.
Do you know how many guys there were who sat in the interview and said, I give it 100%, and their wife said on the phone, I won't talk to him?
Well, I assume there are a lot.
Just imagine. We might even hear something like this now.
Not will hear, I'm sure.
Uh-huh. I like it. What if after your first injury you arrived without arms and legs?
Do you mean whether she would have stayed with me or not?
Yes.
She would.
She would. Well, as you say. Fine. How did you get captured?
The initial task was that the infantry battalion entered the strong point just a day before the task was received.
Uh-huh.
We stayed there for a couple
Which
of hours.
direction?
Novomikhailivka.
Novomikhailivka.
They held out of a couple of hours, were heavily shelled and retreated. And we were given the task of entering these same points and holding there for 2-3 days. Until the infantry, roughly speaking, is ready to move on. Accordingly, we moved in this direction and we were given 2 guides. There were 6 people, I think, from our company with the 6 and 2 guides from the infantry who were already there.
What unit was this now? If there was the 39th Brigade then.
Also the 39th Brigade.
Which battalion?
It was already the 3rd Battalion.
3rd Battalion.
I was in a separate reconnaissance company.
Separate reconnaissance company.
39th Brigade.
39th Brigade.
The 3rd Battalion provided guides.
Uh-huh.
But we didn't reach the point because they started shelling us. The mortar was working in front, more precisely in front of us, and behind us the EGL cut off the road. A trench cut our eyes, and we ran in there, all 8 of us. 4 people started to move back, and the shell landed right next to them. 2 killed for sure, and 1 wounded.
Good.
But the conductor, I don't know what's wrong with him. The 4 of us stayed and sat there until the 29th. We came on March 25th. They promised to replace us in 2-3 days.
How did they change the scout?
Yes, on the 29th I myself made the decision to leave because I was in touch every day. I asked what will happen, what to expect. They say that's it, they'll come now, they'll change now, they're on their way, they're already approaching any minute, but no one came at all. On the 29th I make a decision and tell everyone that we are leaving. We're just sitting in the trench, we have nothing at all. There is no one in front, no one behind us, we're all finished. What the point of us just sitting and waiting for some kind of miracle? They began to move forward in twos. The first pair consisted of me and 1 other soldier. The second pair was just a guide from the infantry and also mine, a soldier from the company.
Why aren't you the last?
It was 8 p.m. Somewhere around 8 p.m. It very suddenly became dark because the sky was cloudy.
Didn't anything foreshadow that it would get dark at 8 p.m.?
Before this, the nights were simply bright because the moon shone brightly. It was cloudy then, and already, let's say, at a distance of 10 meters, I didn't see a person. Well, I seemed to be moving. I understood that I was going in the right direction. Everything is correct. I'm already beginning to understand that there is no one there. Just shouted. There was no answer. I contacted the battalion commanders on the radio and said, give me directions on where to go. He say like, look, we can't see you from the quadricopter. Like, bad weather and so on. Tell me the landmarks, I told him. He says, well, that's right, go straight ahead. I went straight ahead. Well, I already started approaching the forest belt. While I was walking, I approached him several more times and asked him to give me directions. I say, orientate. He says, yes, we'll send it now. Well, basically, I didn't meet anyone at all. I say, here I am in front of the forest belt. I say, I'm already here. He says, that's it. He says, that's it. There was an explosion right to my left. I'm saying just now the automatic fire alarm went off not far from us. I said, I understood. Look, I say, they were just to my left. He says, yes, everything is correct. Come on in, he says, into the forest belt. I started to walk in and they started shooting at me. I fell. I reported the situation and asked if I really need to go there, do something. They say, yes. They told me to shout that they're our own. They stopped shooting for real. I just went into the forest belt and entered the first dugout, and it was completely empty. I walked on and was told to stop. I stopped. The battalion commander contacted me again on the radio. I told him to wait because I had met someone. They started asking who I was, and it turned out I was already in the wrong place. And you know what's so funny and so bad about it?
There are Nazis there, yes?
That's not what I was talking
you said
about
that
at
before.
all. I completely ignored it. That when I approached, they asked me if it was the 4 of us living in the first belt. They saw us perfectly well. For some reason, our guys didn't see me even in the first belt that was across the field. I don't understand the logic. But the most interesting thing is that they accepted me normally, not like they told us about kicking, beating, or anything else. Well, accordingly, they searched me and asked who I was. They set me down in the dugout calmly. Well, their hands, of course. Well, my hands, of course,
Well,
were
I
tied
see.
in front of them.
Captured which unit?
I don't know, I wasn't told.
They didn't say.